Hi guys, so in this video we are going to check that how we can upload any JSP project in Docker. Okay, so yes, we required couple of setups for that. First of all, you must have a web project, ideally JSP or Servlet, any type of a web project. We required, right? And after that, we required a Docker. Docker must be installed in your system. That can be Docker desktop, right? And you also have the Docker login in your console. And after that, we are just going to Dockerize that. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a web project, a simple web project. So this is my Eclipse. I'm just going to create this in Eclipse. File new. I'll just go to other and then dynamic web project. Next. So Docker JSP, right? And let me change the perspective. Docker JSP. This is the project. Okay. Now, first of all, we are just going to create a first page that is a index. So that can be in HTML. So let me just create this as an index, and there I'm just simply going to create a button, and we can Dockerize this from action equals to transfer into one dot JSP. Okay, and then we require a button input. One second. Input type equals to submit, right? And value equals to submit. That's it. One second. Submit. Okay, and that will going to forward request to JSP. So let me create a JSP file as well. So new JSP. That can be one.jsp. Yes. So I'll just type h2 requested. That's it. Right. Now we can test this on local system first of all. So I'm just going to right click run on server. So let me select this server. See, I'm using this Tomcat 9.0. Okay. So whatever version you are using, accordingly, you need to create your Docker file. Okay. So let me click on finish and it is going to deployed. One second. So port is already occupied. So what I'll do, let me open the server again. Perspective, reset, reset. And this is the server. So I'll just change. This is for just for the testing purpose. That project is working or not. It is taking time. I'll just change this to, right, a new port. Okay, so that port is 7099. Any port. Okay, 7098. Control S. Done. Now, let me run this. Run on server. Server starting. Okay. We can see. Okay, all right. So we have this submit. Let me click on submit. Okay, and it is forwarding request. Perfect. So that is working in my system. Now we need to export this as a ZAR file. So what is the first step? First step is you need to export this as WAR file. Right. Now we'll just right click. We have the option of export WAR file. Okay, and let me just go to browse. I had recently created a folder on a desktop. One second, download. So this is test data, and let me, okay, we can go with any name right now. Okay, but that name should be in a small letter, right? So that is created, done. Now the work of Eclipse is done. Now let me open that folder. I'm just going to CMD. Okay, and that is downloads, right? And now what is the name of folder? Downloads. That folder is test data. Okay. So let me just go to cd test data, right? And let me check what is in that. So that has a war file. Okay, it should be renamed. So what I'll do, let me open that folder again and let me rename this. That folder is in downloads. Yes, this is the. Now I'll just rename this to app. I'll go back to console again. CD, 1 second. I'll just go with dir. Okay, perfect. Now let me just open this with VS Code, code space dot. Why? Because now we require a Docker file. Okay, so the Docker file should be created with this. So let me just click on plus option and then Docker file. This must be the exact Docker file, right? Where we are going to write the code. So that, see, that Docker file is required in all type of project, either the Java, okay, like no, anything, whatever we have. So that we require. So we need to write this code. So I'm using Tomcat, so that I can generate from uh, this Copilot as well, right? That is having the option, but we can write it manually. 1 second, let me just write from, okay, and then Tomcat, I'm using 9.0. So that is 9.0. Okay. After that, it can go with the run command, right? So run, Remit should provide some suggestion. Slash user, this is the library of a Tomcat, local, okay. And then we have Tomcat. In the Tomcat, we have web apps, right? And I think that works. Slash star. In case of any issue, we can take help from Copilot to fix that. Okay, now we can go with the copy. So copy, it is asking the source. So source is app dot war. Now it is asking the destination. So destination, this remains the same. Yes. So that we can provide. Okay. And it should be root dot war. Right. Because root.war is the file which is accepted by all the server initially. So let me just expose the port. So I'm just going to expose the port 8080. That works here. Right. And then CMD executable can be, this is the file. 1 second. SH, and that should provide a run. Works fine. Yes. Okay, so that is done. Once this is done, now we need to go with the Docker login. Okay, like in your console, you should go with the Docker login. So I'll just open my CMD. This is my CMD. Let me clear everything. Let me just go with the Docker login. So it will log in with my credentials. Okay, login succeed, right? Perfect. Now, see, now we need to create our image. Once this is done, after that, we need to create image. So Docker file is done. First is the Docker file. That is done. Right. Second, we need to create image. Okay, build image ideally. Because Docker consists n number of images. Okay. So I'm just going to, I already have that image. 1 second, Docker images. This is the command to check. I already have this image, but no problem. Okay, let me now see, let me create image again because I'm creating image in this folder. So the command is docker build -t, and then let me provide my -app space dot. So dot will going to add everything. And let me provide this build command. If everything works fine, we got image that is built. I'm just waiting. Looks good. Now you can see I got No error. So it means image is created. Now, after that, you need to create a container. So first of all, let me check, do I have any container running? No, I don't have any container which is running there. So I need to create a container. So the command to create, like create a new container is docker run, right? After run, you need to provide the parameter -d space -p. Now proposed port. For example, I'm proposing the port 7654. That can be any port of 4 digit, right? And what port we had exports? We have expose 808C, right? And there you need to provide the image name. So what is our image name? I forgot. So what I'll do, uh, let me simply press enter to put this with me. Let me just go with Docker images. Now, my app. So this image we had recently generated, this my app, right? So let me clear screen and my app. I think I don't have any hyphen, right? Image name is not correct. So is it my hyphen app? Yes. Now let me just go with Docker PS. Now you can see we have a container, okay, which is running. So 7654. Now we can test this output. Okay. So let me open local host and the port 7654. Now you can see the same output. Let me click on submit. Requested, right? So this is all about how we can Dockerize any JSP project. Thank you.